Hey YouTube, Vladimir here, and one of the benefits of doing these videos is I get to get feedback and advice from you guys. So after uploading my last video on designing the twist vases, one viewer named Maroke left a comment saying, hey, there's actually a better way to approach this, and then went on to leave a detailed explanation. So I decided to try his technique, and it worked really well. So I'll show you guys a few models I printed. So here's one, and did a second design, and they work great. So I decided to go ahead and do another tutorial showing you another way to go ahead and tackle these twist vase designs. So go ahead and take a look at this one. I do think this is actually a better approach, and huge thanks to Maroke for leaving me the comment. So all right, let's go ahead and jump into Fusion. We'll start with a sketch on the XY plane, and we'll go ahead and draw a polygon. So we'll choose circumscribe polygon, and we'll start at the origin, and I'm gonna make this or give this a radius of 25 millimeters. So first I'm just gonna place it, and then I'm gonna hit D for dimension and dimension that from the origin to that top line, and then enter 25 millimeters. And to fully constrain it, I'm just going to grab a horizontal constraint here and go ahead and constrain that horizontal top line, and click stop sketch. Next we're going to go ahead and draw a vertical line perpendicular to that original sketch. So we'll go to create sketch, and I'll select this ZX plane here and grab the line tool, and we'll start at the origin, and we'll make this the height that we want our cylinder to be. So I'm just going to enter 100 millimeters here and then stop sketch. Now we're ready to go ahead and put in our coil. So we'll go to create coil, and I'm going to select that polygon profile. So we'll choose that hexagon, and let's go to a top view, and I'm just going to start at the center, and I'm going to snap it to the corner here. Alright, so now that we have our coil and we have this dialog box, there's a few things I'm going to change. First, I'm going to choose revolution and height here under type, and for diameter I'm going to leave that the same. Revolutions, I'm going to make this 0.5. Let's see, height, we're going to choose our height of our vertical line, which was 100 millimeters, and section size, I'm going to make this 20. So you can obviously play around with these parameters, but I'm going to go with this and click OK. And there's our coil. So here's the magic right here. We can now go ahead and choose create and go down to sweep. And for the type, we're going to select path and guardrail. For the profile, we'll choose our hexagon. For our path, notice if we hover over our coil, we get this line that represents that curvature. So we'll choose that. And for our guide rail, we'll select this vertical line. Now all we're going to do is change this from cut to new body and click OK. And we can see we have our two different bodies there, and we created this nice coil feature. So let's go ahead and name these. So this first body is our coil, so we'll just go ahead and call it coil. Our second body, I'm gonna make this our outer profile, or our outer cylinder, so I'm just gonna call this one outer. Alright, and I don't need to see the coil, so I'm just gonna uncheck that. Let's also go ahead and just give this a color. So I'm going to hit A for apparent. We'll go down to plastic, opaque, and we'll go ahead and make this blue. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make the inner cylinder. And to do that, all I'm going to do is go back to that original sketch, double click it. Let's try that again. And we're going to go ahead and enter an offset. So I'm going to choose sketch, offset, and I'm going to give this an offset of -1 millimeters. Stop sketch, and we're going to basically do the same thing. So I'm going to need to see just my coil and my two sketches. So now for our sweep, we'll go to create sweep. We're going to make sure we only select that inner profile. And again, our path is going to be that coil. Our guide rail is going to be this vertical line. And again, we'll change this from cut to new body and click OK. So now I'm going to get rid of coil, and instead of body 3, we'll go ahead and call this inner. Okay, so now I can show my outer body, my inner body, and if I look at the top, you can see, well, here, let's go ahead and give it a different color so it makes it easier to see. So I'm going to hit A for parents, expand it by hitting this little plus sign, and I'll make this one yellow. So I'm just going to grab it, actually bring it here to my body on the browser and make that yellow. Click OK. Now we get this weird kind of color thing happening because they're both occupying the same space there. But you can see, if I go to a top view, you can see our offset there that we gave it. So we have the outer and our inner coil. So if we want to move this over, I can just click on inner, or right click on inner and go down to move, and then I'm just going to drag this arrow over, click OK, and we can see our two bodies. So I'm ready to send this to the printer now, so we'll go ahead and choose make 3D print, select our body, click OK. I'm going to bring this into Simplify 3D. I'm going to get rid of our last object there by clicking remove. And so if I click on processes, again, so if you watched my last video, this is kind of the same thing. You want to go into layer and choose a single corkscrew printing mode, vase mode. In other slicers, like Slicer for example, this will be known as it'll just say vase mode. But whatever you're using, there should be an option. I think most slicers have an option of just printing it in vase mode, because even though we're sending it a solid, it'll just print the outer perimeter. So one other thing I did with this is if for, let's see, under additions, I mean, I could have gone ahead and modeled a bottom here or a lip to like easily pull this out and in, but I chose to actually do that in the slicer. So if I go to additions, I can go ahead and choose as far as skirt layers, I'm going to give this 2, and then skirt outlines, I'm going to give this, I'll raise it one more and give it 5. So what it's doing is it's going to create a brim, which is going to help it stick, but it's also going to provide a nice little lip for to be able to, grab, to pull it apart and back together. So just a neat trick to do that instead of actually modeling it, because you can't actually have a vase mode with flat surfaces. That's just not going to work. So that's the only thing I'm going to change there. Click OK, and let's watch the simulation here. So if I click this forward, you can see that it created that brim right there. And you can change that to make it however thick you want. And so let's go all the way up. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So now I can just go ahead and click Save Toolpath to Disk. One thing I want to show you actually, I tried also making this more, giving this more of a rounder curve to it. And that's pretty easy to do. So within that sketch, if you just go ahead and go to Sketch, Fillet. So we'll go to Fillet, and we can fillet these corners. And notice, because this was an offset, the inner one, it'll automatically do it. So it'll automatically update to follow that offset. So if you want more of a roundedness to it, you can just do that. I'll give it a fillet of 8 millimeters, hit enter, stop sketch, and you can see now we've got more of a rounded shape to this. I tried it both ways, they both work. The other way works just as well, so you can go ahead and experiment with that. If you know of a different way that you would go ahead and approach these designs, let me know in the comments below. And if you like these tutorials, check out my design courses at my website, desktopmakes.com. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.